While the whole world's going gaga over the Oppo Find X and its funky pop-up camera, I've had my SIM card stashed in a completely different Oppo phone, the Oppo F9, or F9 Pro as it's known in India. The F9 actually packs many of the same features as the Find X, including a massive front fill-in display, though that peekaboo camera is replaced here by a bit of water drop notch action instead. So is the Oppo F9 a worthy, affordable alternative to the Find X, and how does it stack up to the competition such as the Zenfone 5 and the Honor 10? Here's my full Oppo F9 review, and don't forget to give that subscribe button a good old poke for more on the latest and greatest mobile tech. Cheers! Now so far in 2018 I've reviewed well over a dozen glossy 6-inch plus smartphones. I'll be honest, I started counting them and then I kinda got bored and started looking for photos of cats dressed as sushi instead. Yeah, that's definitely actually a thing. Anyway, my point being that a lot of oversized glass-backed mobiles have been launched this year, and the Oppo F9 is the latest to join that list. Still, Oppo has done enough to make the F9 pretty interesting. For one, that mighty 6.3-inch display practically fills the front end, with a teeny water drop notch concealing the selfie cam. Definitely not quite as swish as a motorized camera grille, but hopefully even dedicated notch despisers won't be too aggrieved. And while that glass rear gets smeared to buggery in no time at all, same as its glossy smartphone siblings, you do at least get a snazzy gradient design that can be snatched up in a selection of colours. With its subtle diamond pattern finish, this is a good looking mid-range mobile for sure, to rival the likes of the Honor 10. At 169 grams, the Oppo F9 feels pretty light as well, especially as I've been handling absolute beasts like the Find X, Sony's Xperia XZ2 Premium, stuff like that lately. That said, this thing sure isn't easy to fondle with one hand either, despite those teeny bezels. Oppo's one-handed mode does help out considerably at least, shrinking everything down so it's a lot more easily managed. That rear-mounted fingerprint sensor lies almost completely flush with the surface, which was a little concerning at first, but thankfully there's just enough definition that you can find it without fumbling about. And more often than not, I simply just use the face recognition instead, more on that in a bit. Now, the F9's IPS display isn't just a whopper, it's rather dashing as well. Colours are quite poppy for a non-AMOLED panel, rivaling Motorola's top-notch screens on its Moto G series. If you like shutting out the world with some YouTube or Netflix, the Oppo F9 definitely works. The screen's stretched aspect ratio and full HD resolution makes for an immersive experience, and on top brightness you'll definitely have no trouble seeing in harsh daylight. Now Oppo's ColorOS software, which sits proud as punch on top of Android Oreo, adds quite a bit of bonus customization scattered all over the place. For instance, you can manually tweak the F9's colour temperature and activate the sexily titled Night Shield mode to make things easier on the eyes when things get dark. I've already gone into quite some detail on the best ColorOS features found on the Oppo F9, so go check out my full tips and tricks guide for all you need to know. However, while the general level of customization is great, and some of those additions such as the kids space are pretty fantastic too, Oppo has committed a cardinal sin here, taking away the apps drawer. While the likes of Huawei now let you easily reinstate the apps tray through the phone settings, you get no such option here. And that means you've got no option but to stash your least used apps away in folders on your desktops like this is a bloody iPhone or something. Still, Oppo has made up for it somewhat with the brilliant facial recognition. This thing is pretty much infallible. It didn't matter if the room's pitch black, or if I'm wearing glasses, or brushing my teeth, or even gurning up a storm. The F9 always recognised me and unlocked in a heartbeat each time. Bonkers. Driving the Oppo F9 is a MediaTek chipset, and no, don't switch off just yet. That Helio P60 backed by a decidedly generous 6GB of RAM actually does a pretty solid job here. Everyday running is perfectly smooth, and I found that I could play PUBG on medium settings with a decent enough frame rate. Helped along of course by that game space acceleration. Although take note that overlaid notifications from the likes of Facebook Messenger will still pop up during gameplay with game space, so you'll definitely want to sort that out first. Benchmark scores are good too, rivaling mid-range Snapdragon smartphones no problem. Battery life is a definite highlight of the Oppo F9 as well. That energy efficient Helio platform works a charm, so I regularly managed a full 2 days of use without having to charge back up. And that's with pretty full-on usage as well. Although obviously don't expect to last quite that long if you do a lot of Skyping or gaming or anything like that. The Voot Quick Charge Tech seems to do its job as well. I found that an hour at the plug was basically almost enough to fill the F9's 3500 mAh battery, and the phone didn't seem to overheat during it either. Now slapped there on the back of the Oppo F9 is a dual lens camera. You get a 16 megapixel primary lens with an f1.85 aperture, and that's backed by a simple 2 megapixel depth sensor. Go check out our full Oppo F9 camera review for all you need to know. In conclusion, the Oppo F9 once again proves that this exciting manufacturer can really churn out some solid smartphone hardware. And while the F9 software might irk some users in places, especially with little quirks like the lack of an app store, ColorOS definitely adds in some great stuff too, such as that excellent facial recognition. The brilliant battery life rounds off a satisfying user experience, albeit one that isn't quite an all-round solid effort. So, are you tempted by the Oppo F9 after all of that shenanigans? Definitely let us know in the comments down below, and again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more on the latest and greatest mobile tech. Oh, and people, seriously, why are you dressing your moggies as sushi? It's only going to make things worse when they inevitably rise up and take control. Sort it out!